مرحباً بكم مجدداً متابعينا الأعزاء. اليوم أتيت لكم بمقابلة مترجمة للعبة القادمة XDefiant، والتي تم الكشف رسمياً عن موعد إطلاقها. لا تنسونا من دعمكم ومشاهدة ممتعة.
XDefiant is an upcoming fast-paced, team-based multiplayer shooter where different Ubisoft worlds collide to battle for domination. Here to tell us all about it is Patrick Price and Jonathan Tucker. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks so much for having us.
So XDefiant has had a closed beta. It's been out in the wild a little bit. Some people have gotten hands on it with it. I think our own previewer came away really impressed. For anybody who hasn't been keeping track, can you sort of give us a top-down overview of XDefiant and sort of what it's doing to set itself apart from the other shooters out there?
So XDefiant is a 6v6 arena multiplayer shooter, and we take factions and worlds from different Ubisoft universes. We're kind of honing in on that classic 6v6 arena shooter feel with loadouts and customize your weapons. You have factions that have two abilities and an ultra, and really classic core game modes that I think hits the nostalgia, but also we're innovating at the same time. So it's really a unique twist for us.
Nice. And you had the closed beta. What kind of sort of feedback did you get from players that's being implemented?
We had a lot of feedback, and I think we were looking at our aim assist, our console, our controls, also our servers, which was really a big thing. Our netcode, obviously, in closed beta was an older version of netcode, so we got a lot of feedback about what felt wrong, what felt good, and a lot of balances. Right, Libertad was a fan favorite in the closed beta. A lot of fans thought that it was a little overpowered. So yeah, a lot of just core balancing. Really looking at our gunplay. I think our gunplay was the feedback that everyone was like, we love it. Don't change this at all. And so really honing in, making sure that is going to stay at that kind of upper echelon tier. And yeah, just overall, just improvements from the game.
I love that it's got sort of bits of Ubisoft games. It's a little bit Super Smash Bros. With guns, you kind of got that shared universe stuff going on. Can you speak a little bit about sort of the factions involved and how weird are you willing to get with? Are we going to see rabbits in there?
I can't tell you that. Yeah, so we have the Phantoms from Ghost Recon, we have DedSec from Watch Dogs, Cleaners from The Division, Libertad from Far Cry, as well as Echelon from Splinter Cell. Each of those abilities are really using things from each of those games. And their ultras as well. The big thing for us is I love that our maps come from different universes, because every game that you play, it feels like you're jumping into a different game entirely. You're in a whole new world. I think that's one of the most exciting things, honestly, for me. It's just match to match. I'm in a whole different universe. Nice.
Now let's talk sort of map scale and game size. I think having something that's fast-paced and more bite-sized is something people kind of really want right now. A lot of things got kind of sprawly. Battle Royale games are big and huge. How do you find that sweet spot for how a big enough map to keep things interesting, but small enough that it's close quarters?
I think that comes in play when you talk about having those old school game modes and that nostalgic feeling. There's different sizes of maps too, to your point. There's linear modes, arena modes, a lot of game types that everyone would recognize, just in different forms, while also employing those abilities and factions. And I think the balance between those modes and using the different worlds in the Ubisoft world, it creates this fun balance that I think people are going to enjoy.
Can you tease any sort of worlds or factions that we might be seeing down the road, or?
There's a lot of awesome Ubisoft games out there, and I think that speaks to kind of where we can pick and choose from, right? So I think fans that are just excited of Ubisoft games in general should be excited for what's to come.
Nice, and you've got an open beta coming up, so more people can get their hands on it. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, so our open session, which will be basically same content from the closed beta, but all those improvements that we were talking about earlier, right? So we took all the feedback from closed beta, really went deep dive into what players liked, didn't like, and yeah, we made all those improvements in the last few months, and kind of just gonna throw that into the open session, get everyone's feedback on that, and see how they feel.
Cool. And what's the pricing model? Is this free to play or is this retail?
Yes, it'll be released on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S.
Nice. And do you have a release date for the full experience?
It's later this summer.
Okay, cool.
So we're going with.
And the open beta is coming up pretty soon. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, for me, the open session is June 21st to the 23rd. Again, going to have completely open for everyone to play, and really, we want to get everyone's feedback, right? We made a ton of changes to our aim assist, controller, console feel, as well as our new netcode, which we're really excited about to see players see that improvement from closed beta to open beta. And yeah, just excited to see everybody's feedback and see everybody out there playing.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the plans are post-launch? I realize it's kind of jumping the gun because you're trying to get just the game out as is, but yeah, what's coming down the road?
Yeah, so our year one content plan is stacked. We're gonna have 4 new factions, 12 new weapons, 12 new maps, and then some new gadgets as well. So we really have a ton of new content coming in into our year one plan.
Patrick, Jonathan, thank you so much for coming by. XDefiant is doing open session from June 21st to 23rd, and the game is aiming to fully launch later this summer. We'll have lots more coverage right here on IGN.